Hello, it's Jonathan LeBouef. I'm a student at Nicholls State University, and today I'm going to kind of go over what an audit plan is. I'm going to explain the purpose of an audit plan. I'm going to kind of go over the audit team, and then we're going to review what I did with a hypothetical audit plan based on a hypothetical company. There are many, many different types of audit plans that can be used, but essentially an audit plan uh, serves as a comprehensive framework to guide auditors through the audit process. Okay, there are specific objectives and certain steps that are necessary to achieve the ultimate goal, and to making sure companies are within the compliance of the ANSI Z10 or the ISO 9011. Okay, it's most audit typically your audit plan is crucial for to be conducted efficiently, so that way you're not going out there and kind of flailing all over the place. That way you have a plan, you have a team that's gonna conduct the plan, and everybody stays in their field that they're gonna take care of, and it gets done efficiently, and you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off. All right. Most teams have at least these 5 people involved. Okay, you got your service provider, which is usually a third-party organization, because no one is allowed to do their own audits, because it has to stay unbiased and completely objective. You need an audit team leader, a qualified person who meets the requirements of Section 8.2 of the COS-2-1. All right. Then you have the auditee, which is the company that's being audited. And in this case, it's a hypothetical company. You have an auditor, which is also another qualified person with the same qualifications as the team leader. Then you have a technical expert, which is a subject matter depending on what you're going to audit. In this case, broke it down, and I'm only auditing like 1 or 2 things as opposed to an entire SIMS thing. So that way I broke it down to a smaller portion. All right. And again, the audit team itself has to be composed of individuals who are not affiliated with the company or with the operator, so that way to ensure objectivity and impartiality during the audit process. All right. See um, the audit that I did, and as you can see, there's a few examples throughout my PowerPoint that's going to show different types of audit plans that you could use. My audit plan was for, like I said, a hypothetical company for ABC Production, which was an offshore company. The audit objective was to verify control of work through permit to work systems in place. Okay, and you got to have a scope, and in that scope, kind of talks about what you're gonna do. Which in my case, I reviewed and audited the permit to work for the previous year. Didn't want to go too far back. Review life-saving and firefighting equipment, and then I reviewed performance evaluations and interviewed employees. The tasks, you got a task list that you want to do. My task was to take care of the life-saving and firefighting equipment stuff, which I reviewed the dates on the equipments for service dates, make sure they were able to still be in service, and those that were out of service were properly taken care of and not just thrown in a corner somewhere. Which is why I checked the serviceability of the equipment condition, made sure the inspection tags on them were up to date, and that none of them were out of date or none of them that needed to be inspected that were just left there. Made sure everything was inspected like it should have been regularly, checked the reports, the logs on when they were inspected and how often they were inspected according to ANSI Z10 and SIMS regulation. And then I went and reviewed records, made sure they had the proper paperwork, checked that there were no gaps in the paperwork as far as dates go, made sure, everything was done and inspected and written down properly when it was supposed to be written down, and that they weren't missing any. Because sometimes they forget to do stuff or something, and then they would have a gap, and then that could be an issue. And I checked to make sure that all the paperwork and the equipment was in compliance with, again, the Z10 and the ISO 9011. I checked for labeling, signs, made sure everything was labeled properly, made sure they had signages in the areas where they were supposed to have signages, and checked the SDS records in accordance with all of those things. So that was just a short audit plan, just one particular subject. Now there are several things involved with the audit plan. Like a SIMS program has 13, well, now has 17 elements in a SIMS program. And each one of those programs has to have an audit plan for each section within that program. So an audit plan can get really extensive. But in this case, to do this PowerPoint, I just focused on one small part. Thank you and have a good day.